Good afternoon, boys and girls. Welcome to Storytime with Deborah. Once again, I have a wonderful story for you, and I hope you enjoy it. And as I'm reading, I'll ask you some questions along the way, and maybe you can guess the answers, and we'll find out if you're right. And while we're reading, think to yourself of a favorite part in the book, and when we are finished, once again, if you like, you are welcome to draw pictures of the characters or a favorite part of your book and share it in our comments. I would love to see them. Or even if you just write a comment in the comments about how you enjoyed the book, or if there's a book you'd like for me to read, maybe it's your favorite, and if I have it, I'll read it in one of my other readings. So let's get started. Today, the book is called Giraffe and Bird, written by Rebecca Bender. Giraffe and Bird. Does anybody see this pattern? Does that look familiar? Where do you find this pattern? That's right, on a giraffe. And what about a feather? Where do we find this feather? That's right, we can find feathers on birds. So that makes sense when it says giraffe and bird. Okay, let's begin. It's true. Let's just move this over a little bit. There we go. So you can see the book too. It's true that getting along can be difficult. If the bird could tell you, he'd say he can't stand the giraffe. And if the giraffe could tell you, he'd say he can't abide the bird. That means he can't really accept the bird. The bird, you see, makes funny faces at the giraffe. And the giraffe sticks out his long tongue at the bird. And I don't think the bird likes that. Has anyone ever done that to you, boys and girls? And if they have, how does that make you feel? This makes the bird twitter in the giraffe's ear. Tweet, 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 tweet. That makes the giraffe invade the bird's personal space. That means the giraffe gets a little too close for the bird's liking. Has that ever happened to you when you're playing or you're with your friends and suddenly they're right in your face? How does that make you feel? Some days the giraffe has bad breath. Oh. Other days the bird eats too many berries, which are very high in fiber. And what does that mean, boys and girls? If you eat too many berries or any food that is high in fiber, it means you go to the bathroom a lot. And if you'll notice on here, well, you can figure that part out. Frequently, the giraffe makes loud noises when he chews his food with his mouth open. Has anyone ever done that around you? How should we be eating, boys and girls? You're right. We should be eating with our mouths closed. Often the bird slurps up a slimy worm in front of the giraffe. And even that sound can be annoying in someone's ear. Sometimes the bird prunes his feathers just above the giraffe's head. Uh-oh, this makes the giraffe sneeze. Whew. Have you ever had a feather tickled on your nose, or sometimes you breathe in some pepper and you want to sneeze? Achoo! Every time the giraffe lets out a sneeze, the bird is blown right off the telephone wire. Phew! And every time the bird is blown off the telephone wire, he flies up to perch right on the giraffe's horns. What do you think? How do you think the giraffe is feeling with the bird sitting on his horns? When the bird perches on the giraffe's horns, the giraffe swats him with his ears. Swat, 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 swat. When the giraffe swats the birds with his ears, the bird pecks him with his beak. Peck, 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 peck. There he is. The pecking makes the giraffe shake his head until they are both very dizzy. Whew. Wow. Dizzy and woozy, they both tumble to the ground. And look what happens. What is this on the giraffe's neck? And what is this on the bird's leg? Can you see? What happened when they tumbled to the ground? They got hurt. That's why it's always very careful. You have to be very careful when you're playing, especially if you fall. One day the giraffe loses his patience and shouts at the bird, "Scram, bird!" The bird gets fed up with it and shouts back at the giraffe, "Get lost, giraffe!" Are they being kind right now? Is this how we should talk to our friends? What do you think they're going to do after they leave each other? Do you think they might make up? Or do you think that's it for the giraffe and the bird? That night, there is a seriously scary storm. All the telephone poles crash to the ground. Whew. The giraffe wishes he could hide his eyes under the bird's feathers so he wouldn't see the lightning. The bird wishes he could hide under the giraffe's ears so he wouldn't hear the thunder. Crack, boom, bang. How do you think the bird and giraffe are feeling, knowing that they wish they had each other? Maybe they're feeling scared or alone. How have you felt during a thunderstorm? I bet you want to be with somebody during a thunderstorm. But we always make it through. But sometimes it's nice to have someone with us. The next morning, the bird feels glum. That means kind of sad and kind of blah. He has nowhere to sit and no one to pick and peck. The telephone poles all crashed, so there's no telephone pole for him to sit on. And it looks like the branches are full of other birds. The giraffe feels lonely. There is no one around to pester and perturb him. That means bug him. With no one around to pester him, the giraffe has time to think. The funny thing is that all the giraffe can think about is the bird. What can he do to bring the bird back? Boys and girls, what do you think Giraffe could do to bring his friend back? Even if they just peck at each other, they're still together. So maybe he can find a way back to him. Maybe he can say sorry. Maybe he can call out to him. Let's find out what he does to bring Bird back. The giraffe agrees to help the telephone company for a while. And he acts like he acts as though he is a telephone pole. Okay, why would he act like he's a telephone pole? Can any of you guess why? Well, you're right. If he acts as a telephone pole, Bird can come back and sit on the wire. He doesn't have to wait long for the bird to return. He also doesn't have to wait long for the bird to start making faces again. They're back to their old ways, but they seem to like it. And there they are. Look at them. Smack, smack, flip, flop. Thud. Tweet, tweet. Peck, 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 peck. And there they are, doing everything they did before. But I think this time they might be having fun doing it. What do you think, boys and girls? Now, it's true that getting along can be difficult. And if you ask these two, the giraffe might still say he can't abide with the bird. And the bird might still say he can't stand the giraffe. But we know better. They need each other. And I think deep down inside, they really like each other. Even though they might not be able to get along sometimes, or it feels like they're not, that's their way of communicating and having fun with each other in a different kind of way. But when they didn't have that, they realized how much they missed each other. Do you have friends like that, boys and girls? If so, you can tell me about it. Maybe comment in the comments, or or talk to who's ever with you about it. You don't have to tell me, but yeah, talk about the book and talk about the Giraffe and the Bird. And maybe, you can remember a time when you had friends like the Giraffe and the Bird. Anyway, have a really fun day. Enjoy being at home, and I hope you enjoyed the story. You can play it as many times as you want, and you can practice reading along with me. That would be really great. Considering we're not in school right now and you're at home, read, read, read. I love reading, and I have loved reading my whole life. So this is a lot of fun for me to come here and read to you, boys and girls. So enjoy the rest of your day and stay safe. Bye for now.